but you definitely want to time this. But the incentive is to keep your liquidity and then move it into shares.
Cryptoslo, cryptocurrency news and investing.
Cryptoslo with more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? So, Soup. I'll tell you what. This one, oh man, it's complicated. I am starting to figure it out though. So today I wanted to talk about Soup, the risks with Soup, the possibilities for Soup, and just Soup in general. So it's the Soup du jour today. So I'm gonna unlock my wallet. I originally got these Soup tokens around 3,500. So in the kitchen, APY is 7.6. So the APY has dropped significantly. Now, but that's daily, okay? Now, why has the APY dropped? The APY is dropping because the TVL is going up. So as more people get in the pool, the daily APY will decrease. Okay, so we've got that out of the way. So I'm in here, I'm earning my Soup, blah, 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 blah. The first question is, people are like, how in the heck do I know how much Soup I'm even earning? So I got some Soup, I staked it in Pancake Pool as an LP token with BNB. I came over to Soup, I staked it in the kitchen, and I'm earning more Soup. Well, let's talk about the price. So the current Soup price is about $4,600. So let's get that out of the way. So people are like, well, I thought Soup was pegged to the price of BNB. It is. So you have to think of this as the bootstrap event for this token. So the what is it called? The boiler does not open for another 8.5 days. Okay, so but we're gonna take this one step at a time. So we've got our Soup, we staked it with BNB, we're providing liquidity, and we're earning more Soup. And Soup is around 4,600. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Now, the first question I've been getting from people is, how in the heck do you know how much you're making? Well, there's a yield farm program generator. You hit connect, the unofficial Soup farming calculator. So as you can see, 700 Soup per week, APY is 10.83. You're staking 14 unipool, blah, blah, blah. I have $33,000 in the pool. I almost have 1% of the pool, earning $3,600 a day, $25,000 a week, $1 million a year. I wish. Okay, so and then it breaks down your BNB and how much Soup you would have if you exited the pool at this time. Okay, so right there, that allows you to know how much Soup you have and how much you're earning. What I have found is the Pancake analytics are still screwed up on this. I don't know why this is so jacked, but the actual where was it? The actual TVL, like I said, was about 4 million. Yeah, 4.4 million TVL. But remember, if more people get in, this daily interest rate will go down. It started at 15, and there was some sell-off. It kind of mooned to 8 or 9,000, and then there was some sell-off. So this bootstrap event, there's 1,100 tokens, and the farmers are farming these tokens. Okay, so then you're like, well, what happens next? Well, what happens next is the boiler opens, okay? And this is a secondary token. So you have Soup, and then you have Soup shares, okay? This is really important to understand. So the boiler opens in 204 hours. So let's see, 24. So the boiler opens in 8.5 days, which basically means that Soup shares will be released at that point. Okay, so Soups with an S is Soup shares. So phase 2 farm Soup. This goes on until March 2nd. These tokens are available, and it's at 156x. So This is where it gets tricky, and this is where you can get wrecked, and that's why I want you to understand this. When Soups farming pool opens, okay, these farming pools are going to open before the boiler opens, okay? So these open on the 22nd in 2 days. So it will be a similar situation. People will be staking Soup shares with BNB probably, and then they earn Soups, plural. So you're like, what the frick? This is so confusing. Okay, so we've got it. We have Soup, and then we have Soup shares. Soup is pegged to the price of BNB. So and then in 2 days, you will be able to start farming Soups with an S, okay? And in the meantime, the normal Soup farming without the S will continue until March 2nd. But here's the rub. Here's the rub. When the boiler opens, okay, this token will rebase, meaning the supply will change. So going back over this and talking about this, when that boiler opens, that's when the stabilization epochs, well, actually, let me rephrase that. Let me take two. So what's going to happen is the Soups with an S, Soups, that farm is going to start, okay? Now, the one cool thing about it is they are going to allow you to use the Soup BNB, okay, to stake in the Soups farm. So the Soups farm opens in 2 days, okay? So what this is this ensures a better transition from people farming Soup over to the Soup S shares, okay? And kind of basically, otherwise everyone would probably just liquidate all their liquidity because they'll be moving over to the Soup S. So what is the Soup S? Total maximum supply of 50,000. And basically the Soup shares, once the rebasement epochs start taking place, people will earn Soup from staking their Soups with an S. Okay, so if basically, let's say that the price of Soup is way higher than BNB, you're going to get a rebasement, and then the people that are holding the shares get a rebasement percentage of those shares. So what is my strategy? Again, my strategy will be I did a video earlier where I sold a little bit, but I've been adding back and hyper compounding in the kitchen. Okay, so I've been hyper compounding in the kitchen, and still building my LP. Now the price has gone down a little bit. Like I could exit right now and make like $13,000. But I'm going to stay in because I think the market cap on this is still very low with the TV based on the TVL. So there's definitely room. I know basis cash hit like 80 or 100 million. So this could go 10x. Now, the problem is, again, you just have to watch that people don't pull their liquidity and just sell for a profit. Now, you ask about the whole stabilization. So basically, if the price of Soup is above BNB, it will expand at a rate of 4.5%, okay? And it does that the first 12 epochs. An epoch is just a time period, 72 hours, and then it can only expand 3% based on the TWAP, which is the time-weighted average. So what do you expect to happen? If Soup is way more expensive than BNB once the rebasement starts, which the rebasement starts on March 2nd. I think that's when the, let's see if the rebasement is on here. From what I know, the rebasement is March 2nd. So that's when you really need to watch what's going on with this, okay? So I know it's a lot to take in. So you're farming Soup, and then you can move over and start farming some Soup shares if you want. But I definitely think I will move some of my liquidity from the kitchen over to the boiler, because I do want to own shares as well as still farming, because the people that are in shares, when the coin supply is expanding, are going to get a percentage of the coins from the rebasement. So I know this is really complicated, and and then we haven't even got into the bonds and stuff like that, which are meant to be stabilization factors, and the freezer and such. So in the meantime, just basically I got my Soup, I got some BNB. So let's see, 2.5. So if I wanted to add more Soup, okay, actually we'll do 2.25. Remember my little trick. 0.01. So we'll get some Soup. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and continue to hyper compound. Again, the price has dropped. So this is what I was talking about, that you should not get into this unless you want to ride the train, because you'll see, like I said, with the price dropping, you'll see a shakeout. Okay. So I'm going to add more liquidity. And okay, hit supply. Wait for that to confirm. And then I'll go over to the kitchen and I will add more liquidity. Keep building my liquidity. So again, we're farming. You're going to see some price shakeouts. Like I said, if you bail early, you get wrecked, but you definitely want to time this. But the incentive is to keep your liquidity and then move it into shares. So in essence, basically what you're trying to do is hyper compound your liquidity, build it up, and then move that Soup BNB into the Soup S basically shares during the rebasement activities. Now, with that being said, at some point, if you find you're up, you could pull out your moon bag and then ride it out. That is another option of this. So like I said, I'm up quite a bit. I could pull this out and basically be farming for free right now, which we'll see how the next 24 hours goes. I may consider cutting my liquidity in half, and then I'm basically farming in this for free. But I'm not sure yet, so we're still monitoring that as this goes along. So that is my update on Soups. That is to keep farming, keep hyper compounding, and then move my liquidity into Soup shares, or Soup S as you call it, and then start farming my shares. The shares will only have a max of 50,000 ever. The Soup supply can keep expanding until this stabilizes out. So who knows how much. So if there's 1,100 coins, let's see, times 1.045, then there'll be 1,149 coins. So yeah. So that would be the expansion rate at 4.5%. So again, this is complex, and you just kind of have to weigh. A second strategy, if you're just trying to be safe, would be sell half your yield as you go, hyper compound the other half. If you're trying to get to that half moon bags. If you're upside down on the price of Soup, then you could do that as well. You could skim half your profit, which based on the price dropping a little bit, I can kind of see some people have been maybe using that strategy as well, where they are basically taking half their yield back to BNB. So that is today's video. I know it's a lot. This is complicated decentralized finance on the Binance Smart Chain. So like, subscribe. As always, this is Cryptoslo. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking.